The toys are back in town. As if this reputation of one of the greatest film franchises wasn't already milked enough, Disney has went and done yet another installment of this once proud franchise. All things should have probably ended with the third movie, since the fourth installment I really did not enjoy, and also the Lightyear spin-off is equally bad, hence giving me some skepticism of a fifth Toy Story movie. But shockingly, even if it does look like a generic cash grab from one's point of sight of view, this was actually a really solid movie. Way better than the fourth movie, that's for sure. Andrew Stanton takes one of my favourite franchises and creates a message that's true with kids today. It calls back to the original three movies effectively and offers an important lesson about kids being more interested in today's technology, such as mobile devices, consoles, and PCs. Hopefully, though, this is actually the last Toy Story movie we'll ever see, despite its massive box office success, and that money could be used for some more excellent original experiences. So, what pulls this sequel away from being another generic cash grab from Pixar? How does it teach modern audiences a good lesson? And why does it prove that all good things must eventually come to an end? In today's movie review, I'll be talking about toys versus tech, Toy Story 5. Let us see what friends it still has left within the majority of its audiences, shall we? First off, combining its well-known toys are alive when humans on percent approach also comes with a premise that is still very creative. I think we all know what we know when going into this one. It's toys versus tech. The ultimate test of ownership. Bonnie has become so obsessed with her new lily pad, and the toys themselves, as we know them, are worried that this will be the new norm for them when they get replaced, shelved as display, or stocked away completely. Just like modern day. I have plenty of toys that I don't currently play on display. And I do play lots of other different types of technology today, such as using my phone, uploading and editing these movie review videos with my iPad and PC that I'm currently using, and also playing some HD quality games on my PlayStation 5. Toy Story 5 embraces the modern day struggles with kids growing up into adults with brainless acts on technology, and shows us that we eventually grow apart from playing with toys. It's simple, but also very clever as well. Despite its lackluster secondary characters, the main leading ones are very enjoyable. This movie also changes very much of the main protagonist role. After being sidelined in her appearances and getting some undeserved treatment in the fourth movie with little screen time, Jessie finally takes control of this movie, and the way this movie does it is pretty huge. It calls back to her approach in Toy Story 2, since this movie references her original owner, Emily, who is now an adult 25 years since the second movie released in 1999. Like the other toys who feared abandonment, this film taps neatly into Jessie's deep-rooted fear, giving us a very emotionally touching arc for a character, making her very likeable, as it's not just the same Woody and Buzz Lightyear story we've seen lots of at this point. We've also got plenty of Buzz Lightyears in this movie that are stuck in demo mode, showcasing that charm again from the second movie, and Woody's sign of aging with his colours beginning to fade away, as well as changes show us how the toys eventually grow old when they begin to fade out of colour when not played with a lot. Visually speaking, the animation in this movie is stellar, and also an improvement over the past installments. It uses upgraded software that's more advanced in today's world. Therefore, the rendering speeds in the environment stand out as well, being better, faster, and a lot bigger in scope. There's a lot of technology mastery in between animating the humans and toys, giving off that vibe of Pixar taking the time into using their effective budget, since this is by far their most expensive animated movie to date, with a budget of over $250 million. There are complex tight curls that feel very advanced, so in a way it's more of a testament to Pixar learning from the past movies that they've done and putting that into perspective to showcase viewers how far they've come with the original Toy Story in 1995. Comparing such a gorgeously animated movie to the first ever one released way back then really does showcase that staying power that Pixar has had ever since releasing constant streak of anime movies for kids and all ages. Original or not, the continuous streak of animation that continues to get better over time with a bigger budget is a definite example of why, even today, Pixar remains almost unmatched as an animation company. A signature that continues to also be a mainstay for this franchise is the heart and laughs that come tight between the heartstrings, and also the callbacks to the original movies. It deals with a heavy subject with toys having to go their ways in dealing with technology, but it also has plenty of one-liners, particularly Jessie, that will appeal to all-time viewers, and really the Toy Story franchise has always been consistent with the laughs, so it very much doesn't come off as childish or overly aggressive. The heart, however, is more touching than it was in the fourth movie. Instead of being forced or very uncomfortable, this one uses the heart for many of the gender tropes as well as the other main toy characters, making it feel very touching all the same. It's all about not having your brain being subverted to typical things that take away the imagination of being yourself, and also making friends at a younger age. The way this movie did Bonnie's character is also an improvement, as I actually felt kind of bad for her, as I was hoping that character development would hit her hard, and it eventually did at the end of the movie, where Blaze became her friend, helping her evolve by letting go of the hatred that her previous friends had within her, even after joining their group in getting her own lily pad. The signature heart and humour are what make Toy Story beloved by many. Lastly, for being such a massive Toy Story movie in general, it also comes with important themes that allow children to take advantage of when they're growing older. It tackles on the brave, current reality of childhood and parenthood, giving off that intense vibe of using modern technology such as iPhones and iPads. The main concern is Lilypad, who challenges the current placement of the toys as well as their placement in Bonnie's current life. You can see at first that Bonnie wants to be part of a group that allows her to grow up and let go of her past self. It's a true sign for those growing up with you not wanting to play with your toys anymore, but rather focusing on your newly acquired technology, which again takes the vibe of having some imagination for kids growing older. I felt that similar placement as well, like when I got my very first ever iPad way back in the day, which I had lots of fun on, or back then when I got my very first Nintendo DS Lite, both of which helped me shift into my current self, but also I allowed myself to not let go of that nostalgic childhood that I had playing with toys both at home and at school with friends. It's a difficult change that you must embrace, because then you can make more friends and enter a massive world that you've always wanted to be a part of. The main complaint I have with this movie is that the plot, while interesting, is completely overstuffed with lots of things going on. I can list plenty of things going on here. The Lilypad, Jessie and Bullseye being separated from the group and dealing with flashbacks with Emily, the toys themselves dealing with Lilypad, and unfocused storytelling with demo mode stuck on Buzz Lightyear, and it all makes the story feel like it has almost no room to wiggle in. The original characters, Mr. Potato Head, Rex, etc., have almost no relevance in the film's plot. They get stored in some box and then do nothing for the rest of the film, and as a result, it fails to find its true stride in what it wants to show to the viewers. And don't even get me started with Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom. Fans, enjoy his presence while you can, because he's only here for about a minute. And also Woody's role is missed potential for the film to give us the statement of what it feels like as a toy growing older, as the film shows us how it feels, so in a very hilarious ways, but then it drops those points quickly in replacement for the Lilypad toy, completely out of nowhere. The whole being justified for existence really does show that Toy Story 5 could have ended the franchise on a high note, unlike Toy Story 4. Toy Story 5 is a very solid Pixar sequel that's also a lot better than the fourth movie, which calls back well to the original movies. The premise is creative with some interesting plot threads. The themes are poignant with important morals to take note of. The main cast is a highlight with some beloved characters finally getting the spotlight they deserve. The animation is stellar alongside the continuous streak of Pixar's winning formula. The pacing is swift and breezy. The music has some engaging tracks, like the Taylor Swift ends credit song, despite no "You've Got a Friend in Me." The direction is fun, and it still has a very touching emotional core with plenty of laughs. Though I didn't like how lackluster a supporting cast really was. Keanu Reeves only gets about like 1 minute voice cameo, damn it. And the plot is a bit overstuffed. Still, even if my expectations were pretty low going into it, I still very much enjoyed Toy Story 5, and it still goes to infinity and beyond. Though I do wish they'd just stop here. Like Pixar, as much as you and Disney really love focusing on this franchise and loving it until the very end, I think it's about time that you put it to a rest and focused on some original movies for once. I felt the fatigue with the 4th movie. This could have been one of the greatest film trilogies ever had 4 and 5 not existed, but I guess it do be what it is. Toy Story 5 is an emotionally touching roller coaster ride with heart and laughs to share, as well as plenty of charm that allows it to take its final spotlights in its beloved franchise. Ride like the wind, Bullseye. Toy Story 5 takes its unique premise and turns it into a fight against modern day tech, and the result is a swiftly moving, emotionally touching adventure that sends a poignant message to everyone. They will always have a friend in these beloved characters. My final score for this Disney sequel is a 9 out of 10 and a grade A. It's actually fairly comparable to other recent Pixar sequels like Incredibles 2 and Inside Out 2, so if it can compare itself to those, I'm more than happy with it. I'm wondering, do you guys think Pixar should do more sequels for the franchise as well as other types of franchises? Or do you think they should finally stick to doing some original content? I personally still think that they should have just stopped at the 3rd movie, since that was a definite ending to one of the greatest trilogies of all time. But as long as the kids and their parents are all entertained all the same, it will still engage audiences of all ages around the world. Except for die-hard fans. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on Toy Story 5. And also remember to subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.